And there's my still contact menu there. I'll close out of Photoshop. Now I have all my assets I need for Encore. So the items you're going to need will be your motion menu, your still contact menu, and your 4 video clips. I've got and actually your motion menu highlights. So once again, the items that you're going to need will be your motion menu highlight, your still menu, which is going to be your contact screen, and your 4 video clips. And I'm going to start importing those things into Encore. So from here, I'm going to import my video clips, or all my assets in here. I'm going to import, first of all, right-click in my project area, import as a menu. I'm going to import my first menu. And I'm going to I'm going to select my highlight Photoshop file as going to be my menu. I'm going to add the video clips to it later. So right now you'll barely be able to see a very faint line of your highlights here because it's kind of this black on black view, so you can't really see it quite yet, but it is there. Now I'm going to import my video clip that I'm going to be using as an asset. Right click and import as an asset. Okay, so I'm going to import my video clip, my motion menu video clip, as an asset. So I'm going to link this menu to it later on. I've got the highlights that basically define my menu here. And anything that you select in Encore is going to show its attributes. Almost anything you select on in Encore will show its attributes over in the Properties window. So I've got my highlight Photoshop file, or my menu, selected. By the way, over here, this little play button right there represents the first play item on your screen, or I mean in your DVD or Blu-ray. This will be the very first thing that plays is this menu because it's got that little icon right there. You can right-click on something else and make it the first play if you want to. So now I'm going to highlight the menu. I'm going to go to the menu right here. I'm going to make sure my menu window's open. I'm going to select this menu without selecting a highlight. I'm going to go down here, and you do have to do this in this order. You have to go down and turn these layers into buttons by clicking on these little boxes next to it. It'll make these, and my background has been turned off in Photoshop, so it's not even bringing it up right now. But I'm going to click, and it'll make a little square and make this information that makes it a highlight on each one of these items on the right-hand square. And it's making each one of these items into a button. Now I want to turn these off. I want to turn off the eyeball because you don't want these showing these black clips the whole time. You only want them to show up when they're highlighted. So I'm going to turn each one of these eyeballs off except for the highlights. These have this kind of little grayed out eye that you can't really turn on and off because those are highlights. But you turned out the black reference so it doesn't show this just black cloud over it the entire time. So once again, in that order, I clicked on the highlight button and then I turned off the eyeballs to make them invisible. Okay, now I'm going to go up here, deselect, make sure you don't select on a button here, on one of those little buttons like here, or there. Just click on the menu somewhere. So the menu is selected. And under this little menu, under Properties over here, make sure you go to the Motion tab here, and you're going to tell it what to play as a motion menu. I'm going to grab the video, drag it over, and connect it to this clip. I'm going to grab the audio, drag it over, and connect it to that clip. And now we've created a motion menu with those highlights here. And if we preview it, hit this little play button up here, it'll preview it in the DVD player. And there we go. And each one of these highlights will work. As you navigate through it, it'll, with a DVD remote here, we'll go through and highlight each one of these. I'm going to hit exit. But you notice as soon as I press play that those highlights pop right up. So you want to make sure that your highlights don't pop up immediately, if you have a fade in especially. I'm going to go to my little motion menu clip and see what time I want that to fade in. I'm going to play this clip really quick and see at what time code that video clip comes in. having some problems playing back here because I'm recording at the same time. Alright, right there, about 6 seconds. So probably about 5 seconds I'm going to have my video fade in. I'm going to have my my highlights pop in. So you go over here to this loop point. I'm going to set my loop point at 5 seconds. When it hits the end, it'll actually go back to that 5 seconds and play back. So now I've got my loop point set. My highlights will show up at 5 seconds. Let's test it. Hit play. Notice no highlights yet. And now, boom, the highlight popped up right at that time. Now I have these little clouds that pop up over each one of these clips. And my highlights work. So now the next thing I'm going to do is import my timelines. Actually, another thing I could do is import as a menu. I could bring in my contact menu as well. So I'm going to import as a menu my contact menu. Right there, I right-clicked and did import as a menu, and I import my contact menu. Okay, and I'll import this as another menu here. There's my contact menu. I'm going to click on this menu here, click in this area, and it will bring up and under layers down here, I can go down and choose back to main menu as a button. So I'm going to select that, back to main menu, and now this will be selected as a button. It'll highlight when it comes to this menu, and this text right here will highlight. That Photoshop file will highlight right there. So I'm going to right-click, import as timelines now. I'm going to bring in my 4 video clips as timelines. I'm going to grab this one, this one, this one, and this one. They're my 4 video clips. Let those import as timelines. Okay, and it will bring those 4 items down here in 4 separate timelines. Okay, once those are brought in, one thing I probably want to do as well is edit my highlight colors. If you don't like the highlight colors, just have that kind of orange color that I had before. I'm going to double click on my menu that I want to change the color scheme to. I'm going to go down here and turn on my highlights right now, so you can see the color. This little button right here will turn on my highlights, so you can see the color that it's selecting these things in. I'm going to go up to menu, and this menu color set right here. Edit this right here, my menu color set. Click on that. It will bring up my menu color set. And what I don't want to use automatic, I want to go down to menu default, and it'll let you change these on your highlight. Group number 1 is the only one you need, and you can click on this and choose a different color. Say you want some sort of, you know, the red actually worked kind of well because it was a good contrast. I'm going to make it like a darker red. I mean, the orange did. I'm going to make this kind of a darker red here. Here, kind of purplish. I don't know. I'm not very good at choosing colors. So I'm going to hit OK, but you'll notice your colors change, and that's going to be the color of your highlight right now. So if you want to change it, that is the color change for that specific menu. If you want to change for your contact menu, double click on your contact menu, go down here and turn on your highlight. Right now you'll see it's kind of that orange, same orange color that I had before. I'm going to go up to menu and edit the menu color set, change this to menu default again. Click here and say I want this a darker, let's say lighter. Let's go like yellowish, I don't know. Hit OK, hit OK, you'll notice it changes to a lighter color. I lied. It didn't, well, it did change, it's just, so I'm going to change that. Let's call this bluish color. There we go, you can see the change now. I just didn't do that dark color contrast to see the change. So there's the change, and now you'll see the highlight right there. That's the highlight, and therefore the button to select it to go to a different region. Okay. Another thing you probably want to do as well is create just random or these chapter points so you can kind of skip through your video clip and test your video. I usually place one right in the middle of the clip and one toward the end of the clip. So I'm going to get my timeline. On each timeline, I'm going to get it right through the middle of the clip. Hit this little add button right here to add a chapter, because we're going to just be able to skip through this to test the DVD really quick. I'm going to go to the end and click another one. So you got a chapter here in the middle and one at the end. Go to this one, do the same thing about in the middle. You don't have to do chapter points for your DVD if you don't want to. This is just for convenience sake, just so you can quickly navigate and test your DVD and make sure it works. There we go. So we got all those chapter marks in there. And now it's time to create all the navigation parts of my menu here, of our DVD. I'm going to go to my first menu here. I'm going to select this first button. Say when this button is selected, I want this link to go to that first one. Let me remember what my first one was. I'm going to go to a little still image of it. Actually, go to my motion menu clip really quick and play it. Okay, so sharper view first. It's back to Encore. So this button belongs to sharper view. So I'm going to grab that, drag it to the sharper view. Notice I'm dragging it to not to the clip, but to the timeline that I've created right there. So now this button is now linked to that timeline. I'm going to click on the second one, which is Making of Steve. So I'm going to drag that button to the Making of timeline. Click on this one, which is Platinum Whites. Drag that to the Platinum Whites final. Click on this one, and that one is the only leftover one, which is the front door. And now I'm going to click on this contact, and instead of going to a video clip, this is going to go to my menu, my contact menu. Okay, so now I've got to go to this contact menu and make it navigate back to this screen. So I'm going to go to my contact menu, select that button, go to the link up here, and make it navigate back to my main menu right there. Alright, now the last thing I need to really do here is go to each one of my timeline clips, and I need to tell it an end action. You'll notice when I select the video, you need an end action, what it will do when it's through playing. So I'm going to grab that and tell it to go back to my highlight menu on each one of these timelines. End action, back to my highlight. Then I'm going to go from this one back to my highlight, from this one back to my highlight. And each one of those is now created, so it will navigate from my menu to each one of these clips when the button is selected, and then when the video clip is through playing, it will navigate back to my menu. So I'm going to play here and test this. Highlight pops up, that ugly purple color. I'm going to select this one here by selecting my select button on my DVD menu.
My name is Todd Elkins.
And see if it plays. I'm going to skip through.
Saw that rather than coming in funds in place to purchase advertising and airtime, and in doing so we know that we'll have a huge growth over the next couple of years.
And notice I hit next chapter a couple times to skip through it. And this way I can test it to make sure everything works. I'll do this one and test it.
Roll tap. Audience to be entertained, and that's
it works.
If they enjoy it, then it's worked.
Okay, one other thing I want to check here is my contact information. And click on the contact to see if it navigates to the contact information. And it goes to my contact, so now I'm going to click on my back to main menu, and everything works. The only thing that didn't work is when I arrowed down on my DVD menu from this, it didn't go to this, it went down to this one here. So there's really no way to get there but to clicking on it. So the way to fix that is you can go down to your show button routing right here. Click on your button routing and it will show where your buttons navigate to from one button to the next as you arrow down or arrow right or left on your DVD remote. I'm going to go over here. One thing that you need to do is you need to click on your menu, go over to Basic on your menu properties, and go down to where it says automatically route buttons and uncheck it. And now you can come over to these buttons and you can tell it where to go. When you arrow down from this button, it will go to this button. From here, it will go to this button. From when you press left, it will go to this button. When you arrow up, I'm going to make it go to that button right there, so you got a way to get to it. From here, going to navigate. From when you hit the down button, it'll go to this button. This will go to the right. This will go to the left. This will go to this button here. That will go to that button there. That I'm going to have to go to this button there. So this is a little confusing, but you're telling it where to go when you navigate with your menu button. Once again, you turn on Show Button Routing. You got to click on the menu, so deselect all your buttons by clicking on your menu. Go over to Basic, Properties, and unchecking Automatically Route Buttons. Also, you can tell it the order of the buttons. If they were screwed up in Photoshop, you can say this is the first one here. You can go up and tell it this is number 1. It already has number 1. This is number 2. So this is already in the proper order. Number 3, 4, 5, and that's done. Okay. Once this is all done, now the only thing you have to do is build your DVD. So I'm going to turn off my routing button so I don't have to look at that, turn off my highlight so I don't have to look at that, and I'm going to go up to my build tab right here. Click on build, and what you're going to want to do is check out the Blu-ray burner from Johnny Elton in the equipment room. Bring it in. When you're all ready to do this, you're going to check out the Blu-ray player. You'll plug it in and you're going to format to Blu-ray or to DVD. If you're not doing Blu-ray, if you're just doing DVD, you can just do it in the Macintosh DVD burner. But you can choose. So if you're doing DVD, you're going to choose DVD up here under Format. And you're going to output to DVD disc. Once you've done that, so it'll look like this, DVD, and output to DVD disc, just hit Build. It will ask you to insert a DVD and press OK. You'll hit OK. And it will start burning your disc. And that's it. If you're doing Blu-ray, you'll plug the Blu-ray burner in, the USB Blu-ray burner in, you'll choose Blu-ray, and then you'll choose Blu-ray disc. And right now it's saying there's no recorder found because there's not a recorder attached to my Mac. So once you plug that in, you will be able to choose the recorder. If you plug it in and you have to update it, just hit refresh, it'll update it, and you click on the recorder. And then same thing, hit build. It will build and burn your disc, and then you put your name on it and hand it in, and that's it. Then ask me if you have any questions. Goodbye.